Hey guys, Dr. Cryptoman here with the Dr. Cryptoman Show. We are here talking to somebody from the Bear team, and we're on my Telegram call group. First time doing this on my Telegram call group. There's a link below. Join if you are interested in any of the XRP projects. Yeah, hey, it was nice to see you. As far as I know, this is the first time you're doxing yourself, like your actual who you are.
Yeah, this is the first time anybody in crypto has really seen who I am, and I thought it was kind of a crucial moment, especially with all the stuff that's come out about, hey, who's the large, bear holder. That's, I think it was Esther Potato pointed it out. So yeah, I just thought it would be a good thing for me to come out, show who I am, and ultimately, just kind of even share stuff about the Bear project. So appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I did one of these with Flippy, and it was great. We got to talk, and it actually went on for like 40 minutes. I had to cut it down quite a bit. So a lot of cool stuff. It's just so cool to find out, like, everybody's, a lot of projects, nobody's doxed, and it's always so sketchy, but like it's so nice to actually see people and talk to people. So you're saying, so are you the one? So I guess let's first, before we get to that topic, why don't you explain to people what Bear is and how it relates to XRP? Because unless you're an XRP maximalist, you don't know.
Exactly. Yeah, I think what Bear. I guess we can take this back to the 2017 bull run. Bear 123 created a Twitter account at that time, now known as X, and ultimately started posting these riddles that kind of started making a lot of people in the XRP community ask, hey, is this an insider? Because there was a lot of just weird confluences that would happen, and even things like the whole 589 thing. That's one of those things that came directly from that. So, in my opinion, what Bear represents when it comes to the meme aspect of it is not only the cartoon character and the lore built out from, Bear Guy 123, but also, it also embraces the fact that XRP people are kind of conspiracy theorists to an extent, but for good reason, because we understand that there's some stuff going on underneath the surface, and even to the average crypto person, they don't take into account a lot of the stuff, like ETH, things like that. They're just like, whatever, it's not a real thing. And ultimately, I think that kind of formulates the personality of Bear people, that, like, hey, we are the conspiracists, but we also know there's some secret stuff going on in the underground. So that's what I think it represents personally.
That's awesome. It's like when I do these interviews, and I don't own every single project that I talk about. I don't have a stake in everything, so it's like whenever I speak to somebody, I'm like, oh my god, that sounds so awesome. I just want to get some, but like I got only enough funds to go around. So like, yeah, but like Bear seems like a very interesting project. Everybody, and let's get to the elephant in the room, I guess, which you have actually right now a cat in the room. I can see.
The name is Fraggles.
What's the name?
It's Fraggles. She's 19 now, but she's doing well.
Oh wow, 19-year-old. Oh, that's crazy, awesome. But so everybody I talk to, and this is something that you can address, and this is actually one reason I want to talk to you. And I know you probably know where I'm heading with this. Everybody's like, oh, this guy owns 54% of the supply. Oh my gosh, like this is just so scary. The way I see it is that there's a few very well-known projects where there is a few whales that own a massive, like 80% of the supply, and they ran really high. The guys held forever, and in a way that's almost better. It's a little scary, but at the same time, it's almost better than like having 100 people own 5%, and then it's like, well, whichever one dumps, it's always going to have this massive, So anyway, why don't you tell us about it?
Yeah, I guess, I can even start from the beginning as to when I got into Bear and all the different stuff that's happened within Bear. And I haven't collected a fucking large amount. Sorry if
no, that's fine.
I'm not allowed to talk on
No, it's YouTube.
Okay, cool. But yeah, so what happened was, I'm not sure if you're familiar with Zen Lounge. He's a YouTuber that just posts a lot of, in my opinion, alpha stuff. And he mainly focuses on thorium now and sologenic stuff. So kind of the alpha stuff going on there. But back in the day, he got me into the board 8 on XRP. So when it was literally 50 XRP for the Bored Apes, I literally saw it climb at 3,700 XRP. And then same guy, you know, back I think it was like in March, he released a video mentioning the bear airdrop that was coming out. And he was mentioning, hey, if you set up your trust line, you'll get a bear airdrop. Releases on, I believe it was April 11th. So I actually didn't even sign up for the airdrop. But I saw it come out the first day, and I was like, interesting. It's trading around the 29K XRP market cap. Let's just kind of see what it does. And, you know, in my opinion, you know, I already knew about Variable Get 123. When I saw a meme token based on it, I was like, dude, the lore is already built out. The brand is pretty much already built out. Like, people know who the bear is. So on the second day it came out, you know, people were still trading around like 20 to 29,000 XRP market cap. And I just happened to have 29,000 XRP in my wallet. And something in my gut was just like, okay, you know, looking at the sales of the order book and the limit orders, I can see that people have about 20% of the supply. About, at that point it was from, man, it's going to sound kind of weird. So 0.04 zeros down to 6. That was my initial entry. And then I pumped it up to essentially 0.3 zeros and like a 3. And I just, with the 29,000 XRP, I just bought a ton of the supply. And since that point, I don't know if there's a way where you can pull up the chart by any chance. If not, no worries. But you can literally see every green candle that I buy. Like, if you pull up the chart, and you look at the daily, the 5th and 20th of every month is around when I get paid, but, you know, due to holidays, weekends, sometimes I do get paid a little bit sooner than that. But, or after. Actually, it's never after. It's like the 3rd to the 5th, 18th to the 20th is when you'll see those green candles. That's me every time. And I'd be putting in, just so people know, I do payment processing in my job. So I work in talking to business owners, selling them payment processing services so they can take credit and debit cards. So that's what I do for work. I'm successful in terms of just money-wise when it comes to outside of crypto stuff. So I'm throwing $3,000 to $5,000 every 2 weeks into Bear.
Wow.
And for about 4 months, man, I had the thoughts, I'm like, what if Bear rug pulls me? The dev's unknown. I eventually grew trust in him because I realized that it is a very intelligent individual that's running it. But without a doubt, I have the fear that not only am I throwing my money into a black hole that may never do anything, but I may also get freaking rugged, man. It's like there's still a ton of the supply at that point to just completely kill the project. So over time, I would ask Bear things about the AMM, stuff like that, and he had some very interesting responses where he would have like a paragraph where I would be like, hey, would you just describe the AMM? And he would describe it down to like, okay, so, when one bear goes through and XRP 0.001, and like he would have this crazy math. I'll see if I can find the post. Because I was like, who the hell is this guy? It's like when the AMMs are just coming out and he just has all this information. What the hell is this? And the other thing that happened that was just very interesting was, I think it was like around the 6th of August, 7th of August. That's when Ripple won the, it wasn't they won the case, but the settlement went from $2 billion down to like $125 million. And that's just big news saying like, hey, they're conceding. The SEC is conceding to XRP and, they're lowering that settlement. And there was a vehicle and all that junk. But that day, Bear had been absent for 2 weeks prior to that day. He comes into the Discord. And like I say, my mind's still wandering sometimes, when he wasn't on the Discord. I'm like, where the hell is this guy? Like, it's like, is he going to rug me? So it's like I would be filled with the same emotions anyone else is feeling. And that day, when they got the lawsuit dropped, 3 hours before the news dropped, Bear comes into the Discord, just says, today is going to be a good day. That's it. And a few of us on the Discord do that emoji where it's like, what are you talking about? And all of a sudden, 3 hours later, the news comes out, and then XRP pumps from, I think, 50 cents to 65 cents, and then Bear pumps to 100% that day. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? So ever since that point, people have been like, yo, this is a Ripple insider. And I'm like, I have no idea. Maybe he just got lucky. Who knows what the hell it could be? But still to this day, I'm like, I have no idea who the hell Bear is. But I don't know if you've seen the NFT stuff he's been doing.
Yeah.
As far as like the bear drops, with the NFTs, I'm just like, whoever it is, I'm like, dude, you're kind of smart and you're putting shit and.
So he's still active and he's still doing stuff, right? He's still releasing NFTs and all that stuff, right?
Yeah, he just did the bear drop program. So when the NFTs, so pretty much if you collect a certain background of NFTs, or if you have like the entire suits with the same character in the cards, or if you have the holographic diamond background or both holographic and diamond, there's different bonuses. And he set it up where now I think he's still got like 30 million there left to give out in airdrop. So the way I think he's going to reward people is through the holding the NFTs,
Oh, wow.
as well as providing liquidity, which he was doing it through Magnetic before, through the farming rewards on Magnetic, but now he has a system where even if you put it on Orchestra, Anados, any of the other ones, it'll still give you that airdrop, or the farming reward, I should say.
Wow. So that's amazing. So basically we have our own Satoshi here.
Dude, I literally made the joke to him. I'm like, you're Bear Toshi. And I even told him, I'm like, hey man, like, can we talk? Because we've been through a lot of emotional shit. Like, can we chat? And he's just like this. I'm like, what is going on? I'm like, you're top whale. I'm like, what the hell is going on? I'm like, so for me, yeah, it's been a very mysterious ride, but yeah, I really joke with him. He's our own Bear Toshi.
Wow, that's crazy. That's crazy. Well, how much supply do you think he still owns?
He owns, for sure, 10% of his own supply, right? So that was part of the initial tokenomics, was 10% Bear owns, 80% is airdropped, and 10% is given away through rewards and LP rewards. So from his initial, I'm assuming he has 10%, although he has burned 2 different times 589,000 tokens. So I'm not that good at math, but he has been doing these continual burns of his own supply. And I just have a hunch, and this could be totally wrong, but I almost feel like he's going to burn his entire supply type. I'm like, I feel like that's a catalyst he's waiting to push out. But like I said, this is just speculation. It is absolutely not financial advice whatsoever.
That's crazy. Yeah. Speaking of, none of this financial advice, guys. We're just talking as entertainment, for your entertainment purposes only, and do your own research. So, do you own? You think more than he does?
Yeah, I for sure. And then I also know all the other Bear whales, and we've gotten to the point where even if we thought of the scenario, what if Bear were to die? Like worst case scenario, he is a rugger.
Right. He's no longer going to be able to rug it because yeah.
Exactly. Like we thought worst case scenario, like he just dumps everything, right? And the whales that we have in there, what's great is, and this is where I'm just like, they make me smile because we just have. So I've been in XRP for about 3 years, and I got into the NFT game maybe about 2 years ago, 2.5, 3 years ago, I should say. And it was during the IOU phase. I don't know if you were there. Were you there during the IOU stuff?
No, not quite.
So prior to being able to mint stuff on like a XRP.cafe, you could trade IOU tokens where it's just a limited to 10,000 supply of tokens, and then you can just trade the token like it's a meme.
Oh wow!
Same thing. Yeah, so it's like you're trading the mint price. As weird as it sounds. So it was really cool though because it had that same kind of meme feel to it. But that's where I met the majority of the whales that are there. Is the diamond hand of Base Labs community. It's filled with literally just people who are literally spending 4,000 XRP on JPEGs during a bear market when everyone else is like XRP is dead. When I'm not trying to talk smack on X-Mints, but when they moved to Solana, like they capitulated, these whales were still buying JPEGs on XRP. So that's where I'm just like, we got those whales in our hands that. Like I said, we thought about if Bear bugs us, what's the game? And then we own so much of the supply, and it would hurt if he were to do something like that. It would it would impact the chart very negatively. But at that point, it could be one of those things where it could be a CTO, where Wells, we have enough XRP pulled together that we could overcome it very easily. And one way I can prove that is, I don't know, you can't see the chart now, but there was a whale that had dumped maybe about 16 million bear at once. And, well, I guess he didn't put it at once. He put these giant bubbles, like 16 million bear, which was about 250,000 XRP, where he initially started dumping it. And he dumped it pretty much like 50% from his dump. And we overcame it. All the whales were like, screw this guy. Who is this guy that's trying to just destroy the community? And we had one whale literally throwing 40,000 XRP at us. Where I'm like, God damn. I'm like, okay, people are serious about this shit. Yeah. And it was just very cool to see. And then the other thing, another example, not to rant too long, but the deck screener stuff that we just did to so we did get that 500x boost on deck screener. And it was literally, I went to the Wells. I was like, hey guys, deck screener just came out. What do you think if we just want to just show how big the bellows we've got by just doing the 500x just because? And all the guys are like, yeah, I'll throw 250. And literally within 30 minutes, they're like, all right, we got the ones, let's do this. So I'm like, okay, we've got a very strong set of people that are, let's push this. And then I started thinking about, if we can do that, we can pull exchange listing, as a group, as a collective, without Bear having to spend any of the dev supply, without Bear having to do any of that. So,
wow. So that's great. That's super alpha stuff. That and this is why I love doing this. And again, I'm kind of new at doing these kind of interviews, and I got to figure out my technology a little bit better. But I mean, this is just awesome to hear, because there's without this, you can't put all this on a website or in a post. So just people I talk to, you could just show them this video, or I could show them this video or whatever. But this reminds me a lot of the whales in the AVAX community, or the hardcore holders of the cockinu and the chicken and the whole, what I'm talking about?
No. Honestly, I'm not very familiar with the whole. Honestly, I'm an XRP maxi, to heart, man. I'm to the point where I have no idea.
Me as well. But a buddy of mine, he's super into AVAX, and they have this game. And honestly, I don't know exactly how it all works, but it's it's farm. It's like a farm, and you have chickens, and chickens lay eggs, and that's where cockinu came out of, is from that game. Yeah. Okay. So it's
cool. I had no idea.
And they're super geeky about that, and it's awesome. And they're spending money, and they don't care bear market or bull market, which is what kind of, when you were talking about this, it reminded me. I'm like, oh wow, that is bear. Now it gives me a whole new understanding of it, and I was like, oh man, I wish I got in before, but but no, yeah, it's really awesome. So where do you see this thing going?
Okay, that's a great question, and something that I think about all the time. And sometimes I feel like I'm delusional, but I truly want there to be the Doge and the Shiba, the Pepe of XRP, and I truly want it to be a multi-cycle coin. I don't want it to be this thing where it pumps and then it dumps and then it's just a fad and it just goes away. I truly want it to be where people, if they accumulate in the bear market next time, they're going to get an even bigger pump. Same kind of story with the Doge, Shiba, stuff like that, man. So, yeah, I mean, that's where I truly wanted to go. And, Bear recently did updates to the website to also start showing the Bearable Guide 1, 2, 3 more. I think where I also wanted to kind of go, especially for the new people coming in, is trying to just kind of show them a very easy way to be this is some of the lore. Here are some of the riddles, some of the puzzles that they had, what people speculated, what it means, where 5.9 comes from, just so that people can truly understand the XRP lore, because it's deep and rich. And honestly, I don't know if that's like that in any other chain. It probably is, but it seems very dense here, in a good way,
Wow, that's awesome. Yeah, I could see more buys coming in. You're at almost $8 million. Because Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I think the deck screener stuff is working. As weird as that sounds, we were like, hey, let's just do it just to kind of see what's happening. You see what happens, you know.
Yeah.
And after we did that, it seems like the sales really started ramping up. So I don't know if that's.
Well, it's funny because like there's deck screener, like everybody's expecting deck screener alone to just be like this alpha, this thing that's gonna just catapult there, but it won't just without doing any kind of advertising or some sort of special campaign or something unique. And I noticed that today, I didn't look for long, but I noticed that only 2 coins that actually pumped during the deck screener launch was yours and Flippy.
Yeah.
And both. Yeah, and both of you guys seem to be, obviously you're more hardcore. Flippy just came out not long ago, but it still has more of that kind of like vibe of like, let's build this slow, like let's make this really good and fun and not just a pump. So I'm happy to be part of that, and yeah, I'm just happy to be able to talk to you or somebody, you know, because like I feel like that's gonna bring major kind of solace or understanding of what you guys are all about, instead of, because all I hear every day is like, oh, Bear is cool, they got a lot of NFTs and this and that, but the guy owns like 50%, and I'm like, I don't know, but
you know, it's interesting thought to an extent, just because you know, just like what you were talking about earlier, and you know, when I've even researched the Dogecoin wallets, you know, 75% I think gets locked up in the first 100 wallets for Doge, the top 100, I should say.
Exactly, that's what I was talking about.
Exactly, yeah, for sure. And one of those things where there's this perception that, and I don't know if I'm maybe like I'm kind of a noob when it comes to, you know, all this stuff, but what I'm personally seeing is that with First Ledger, it kind of brought this new perspective of, hey, if the dev burns the entire supply that they have, or they have a zero dev allocation, that this is actually a bullish indicator.
Yeah.
Which I could totally see it in a PvP hyper gambling type of situation, because you know it's not going to be somebody that dumps on you, right? But I also am very I'm like that was never flooded before. Like there was always projects that have dev allocations so that they could plan to do stuff, and I know even like the GOAT team, they faced a lot of backlash because the dev had, I think, something crazy like 90% allocation.
Yeah.
Which he had a plan for, and he explained it. But there's that FUD coming out that, well, if he owns that much, he's going to dump on you.
Well,
So,
you know, I think it's kind of a new thing that one of the devs was like, dude, I think they got to study PTSD, crypto PTSD, because people have been burned so much that people just automatically get this like uncontrollable, like irrational thinking, like, oh my God, no way, I'm gonna get rugged because he owns it, you know. But I think in some cases, like, explained properly, especially if you're doxed, for example, it's like it makes it so much better, because you know where the mind of that person that owns the most is. Like, instead of a bunch of people who own 2%, 10 of them and decide to dump, and you can't control that, and it's going to wreck the chart. So I'm never against that kind of thing, especially when there's a reason behind it and hardcore holders. But I love doing this. I love talking to people like you. And thanks again for joining my show, and I will see you in the charts.